Tuesday night. All right, so let's see if we can get my computer working, your computer working, see if you guys can hear me, and we'll get a move on, get the show on the road. So tick tock, tick tock. Jacob says 5x5. I thought I saw somebody else say it. There we go. Motimer, here comes my screen. Sweet Leaf. Oh, I get an ad. What do you know? Uh, now what Christ. All right, hang on. I got a stupid ad in front of me here. Trying to find out how to get around this thing so I can see the chat. There we go. All right, so I got a whole bunch of 5x5s in there. And an ad for Temu, that garbage bullshit Chinese store that never buy from. God. All right. Well, happy Tuesday. It's been a casual week around here with my back and all. Mrs. P and I actually worked on decorating Christmas trees today. Yes, we're starting early, so that's what it is. But getting things going here because not moving as fast as I'd like to be. So it's like, all right, get a tree up, get things going. So slowly but surely, so we'll have everything done in time. But that's the extent of it here. With the holidays coming up, I want to kind of roll out the annual holiday fundraiser that we do. And for those of you that are new here, I'll let you know what's going on. For those of you that are old hat, you'll know most of this. Each year, the channel takes donations for the local food bank, the local toy drive, and the local animal shelter. Up on the community board this afternoon, I had posted the three and asked y'all to pick one where you'd like to see the majority of the money going. Now, I understand you only get one choice, right? Okay. The whole point of doing that was to kind of get a percentage basis of how y'all like the money distributed. Because last year I just kind of went with my own best judgment and figure, considering we're all doing this together, I figured I'd get your input on it as well. So if you've gone to the community board and registered how you want to do it, because it's breaking it down in percentages. And last I looked, it was about 60% to the food drive, about 30% to the animal shelter, and about 10% to the toy drive. So we'll go that way. And I get people want to say, I want to do the two things. That's how we're doing it. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do is so we can get a good percentage of how y'all want to do it for each one. And please don't give anybody crap because they'd rather donate to animals than kids or food than animals or however. Okay, it's each person's decision how they want to do it. And as I made a comment to somebody too, about kids versus the food drive. Okay, what's more important, a Barbie doll or, telling a little girl she got a Barbie doll or telling a little girl that, a puppy's not going to have any food. Just however y'all do it. Okay, we shouldn't be judging each other. Let's leave it that way. So, if you are interested in donating to the drive, I would request that you do it via Cash App. The link is below the video here, so you can do it that way, rather than do it via Super Chat. Reason being is twofold, okay? First off, Cash App doesn't charge 40% like YouTube does, okay? And second off, any donations that are made now, I don't get until December, the third week of December, okay? So at least the Cash App donations I can get within a day or two. And of course, like I said, then all the money's going to the charity, not almost half of it going to YouTube. Like Google needs to make any more money. Okay. If you're not comfortable doing something online, I've had quite a few people that have mailed either cash or a check. If you're going to mail me a check, please leave the payee blank or just make it out to cash. I know that's a little awkward, but I can't get a checking account as Pinball Preparedness unless, of course, I register as a business and go through all that. And I'm not going through that. Okay. So if you want to mail cash, that's fine. If you want to mail a check, just leave the payee blank, and we'll kind of go from there. So that was it. That being said, to give you an idea where we are, like I said, we're just going to start this tonight, the contributions. I've already had, between Cash App and the mail, $2,240 worth of donations. So we are off to one hell of a start from everybody that wants to participate. Last year, we brought in a little more than $10,000. We made a huge difference to the food bank, and obviously to all the kids and to the animal shelter and everything. And for those of you who've been there, you all know I will take a video of us, me and Mrs. P and Mr. and Mrs. Mountaintop Preps are going to help, and my buddy's going to help, and we'll all go do the shopping, and you guys will get to see us driving a grocery store insane, and then drop everything off and, get to share in what y'all participated in. So that is kind of what's going on. To give you guys an idea of time frame on this, I have talked to the animal shelter. They're like, whenever you can make a donation is fine with us. The toy drive, that donation has got to be made on December 2nd. The food drive is the next time that they have they've got one right before Thanksgiving, this coming Monday. But we'll be doing the shopping on December 10th and dropping off the donations on December 11th. So that is our time frame. Yes, somebody just said I'm sparkling tonight. Glitter from putting up Christmas decorations. Yes, our tree has glitter on it, and so of course you put up a Christmas tree and you get covered in glitter, as is my table, as is my floor, as is half my house right now. So I'm dragging this thing around. Yeah, glitter goes everywhere. We'll still have it in April, but so that is the deal on the holiday drive. If you can participate, bless you. If you can't, I totally get it. Okay. Even just, some prayers are always much appreciated for everybody. There's a whole lot of people out there, guys, who are in a world of hurt. And there may be some watching this video right now too, that they don't know what's going to be on the dinner plate. And one thing that preppers are always good at, we always make sure we have food. And at least around the holidays here, as a community, maybe we can help make sure that some other people have some food on the plate, or maybe the kids have something under a Christmas tree, or maybe one or two less dogs or cats have to be put down. So if you can help, sincerely, I thank you. And if you can't, I totally get it. Joe hasn't done us any favors with this economy, so going there. All right. So that's that. Let's get into the fun for tonight. If you guys are ready, and I assume there's almost 3,000 people here, you guys are, we are giving away a EcoFlow Delta 2 and the extra battery to go with it. So combined, you'd have, 2,600 watt hours of power there. So good little backup system to get you started on your way to building whatever you're trying to build. In a minute, we're going to go to the random comment generator, and I will pick a entry from yesterday's video. The entry must, in order to be a valid entry, the entry must include the state in which they live in and something that they feel they are short in their prep, something they're working on, okay? If it doesn't include both those things, it's not a valid entry. I say this every time, okay? Most of the time, we're pretty good. Sometimes we have bad ones. The other thing is that person will have 3 minutes to reply that they are here, okay? So once we get the name drawn, make sure that if your name is drawn, you put in the comment section, I'm here. Doesn't have to be any paragraph or something. I'm here is good enough, okay? Just acknowledge your presence. What I require everybody to do, and I say this every time, when I comment that no more comments in the chat room. Do not make any more comments in the chat room. There's almost 3,000 of you in here, and there's one of me trying to find that person's name saying they're here, okay? When I tell you don't comment, and the moderators are good about putting up in there, no more comments, okay? If you make a comment after that, you automatically get a 300-second timeout. That's 5 minutes, okay? And which means if that person isn't here in the 3 minutes and I draw another name, if it's your name, chances are you're in timeout and you can't reply. So you could be causing yourself a problem. It makes my life a lot easier. It's just common courtesy to me and common courtesy to everybody else in the chat to let the winner acknowledge their presence, and then we can all go do what we want to do. So, all right. That being said, let me get over to this and we will flip all over here. Maybe. Here we go. All right. Random comment picker. There is the link from yesterday's video. And let's go see how many we got if my mouse will work. There we go. Okay. All right. We do not include replies. Everybody gets one entry, or it's got to be a primary comment. We do not allow duplicates. Everybody gets one entry. So let's see how many we got. Is this thing going to be slow again? No, it's going to pick up by hundreds. That's better than by 20s like it did last time. All right, so we're 500. Figure we'll probably be somewhere close to 3,000 entries again. We usually are, but we'll see what happens here as we tick on along. All right. Too early, Dale. All right, 2,300, still moving, 24, 25. Are we going to break 3,000? 29, 31, 32, 3,208 entries. Okay. At this point, people, no more comments. Moderators, please post it so everybody knows. Once we see Lucky Dame's comment that says no more comments, any comment after Lucky Dame's, there it is, gets put in timeout. Okay. All right. You guys have all been warned. Bye, Rip. Bye, Christopher. You're gone. Ding, ding. Done. Okay. Bye, Farm Girl. Okay. So we got 3 people who aren't going to be winning. All right. Picking a winner. And here we go. Nan B. Hey, Mr. P, thank you and Elliot for all the great giveaways and discounts. In South Alabama, 1, we don't need it too often, but we need to stock up on firewood for our fireplace. There's 2. That is a valid entry. So, Nan B, you have until 8/16 to announce your presence. And she said she is here. And that makes life real quick. Okay, let me get everything moved around here. Nan, what I will need you to do is this evening, if you can email me your name, physical mailing address, not post office box, and your phone number. I will get those over to Elliot. And Elliot's usually pretty good about getting everything out within a day or 2, so they'll probably have everything out by Thursday or Friday. So by the beginning of the week, you will have a Delta 2 and an extra battery come via FedEx on your front porch. Congratulations. So, okay. And I will tell you this, guys, holiday season, keep your ears and eyes open because there's a lot more stuff coming up considering we are going into Christmas season. Y'all know what I've got coming up starting the Saturday after Halloween, Thanksgiving, and who knows what comes from, other companies that want to participate in the fun we have. So, all right, let's get into our normal fun Q&A, okay? I will kind of remind everybody how this all works. If you have a question for me, please put it in all caps, like every other YouTube channel out there, okay? Makes it a lot easier for me to flip through the chat room real quick and see who's got questions for me. That being said, I wholeheartedly encourage everybody to have conversations on your own, and I ask you guys, please pay attention to chat as best as possible. I know it flies, okay? because somebody else may have a better answer to your question or even a answer to your question that I don't. There are plenty of questions that I don't have the answers to. Got a lot of them, not all of them. That being said, y'all know the moderators. I probably got the best moderators on YouTube on this channel. Most of them been with me since pretty close to the beginning, since I could do live streams. If you are going to be rude, if you want to be an idiot in here, if you want to insult people, leave now, because your comment will never get seen by me with the lightning fast draw that the mods have. So if your intention is to come in here and cause trouble, just do yourself a favor. Don't waste your time. Go somewhere else. You're not welcome here. That's pretty much it. All right. So let's get to... Okay, there's all the congratulations. We'll get 2 questions here. Okay. Buzzard Prepper, there you go. And he's asking, the guy by the name of Buzzard Prepper is asking about how to cook turkey. Go figure this. What's cooking a buzzard? Favorite way to cook your turkey and my favorite side dish. I cook it the way my mother, my grandmother, everybody, yes, I do the Thanksgiving cooking. So it's just in the big old roaster with a couple of, pound of butter underneath, and roast my turkey that way. My favorite side dish absolutely is the stuffing that has been handed down by generation to generation through my family, stuff like that. So, I mean, that comes from the old world. Who knows if they stuffed ducks or geese or whatever it was with it, but same stuffing, and it's fabulous. And I believe I've put that on a video a couple of years ago too. So, but yes, there you go. Sarah say, what is my favorite family holiday tradition? Well, that's a little weird because, as you know, I am not on speaking terms with my family, so there aren't any traditions that way. But the tradition that me and Mrs. P have is, as we're making Christmas Eve dinner, okay, we will partake in some oyster shooters. And if you know what oyster shooters are, it is take a shot glass, put a raw oyster in there, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of cocktail sauce, a little bit of Tabasco sauce, top it off with vodka, mix it all up, and take it down. Usually makes the day go by a little more fun. So, but you gotta like raw oysters. So when both of us do, so it works well. That was actually that was a tradition that I brought to my family, got in the 80s, after being out in California and going to the bars there on the coast, and they'd serve oyster shooters. And I was like, hey, considering Christmas Eve is a meatless meal, and we had oysters as part of the meal, it's like, okay, let's do this with some of the oysters, and that was it. And so that one Mrs. P and I at least continue. Dick Fleisner, anything new planned for the growing area in my garage? Just different to what's going to be going into my garden next year. Come January, I will start my cabbages out there. And then, those will be the first thing. I'm not growing peas this year because I've got plenty of them in storage. So, as I've mentioned a few times, how I rotate my crops is, what do I have plenty of in storage? What am I short on? Okay, let's grow the stuff that I'm short on, the stuff that I have excess in. I don't need to grow this year and have more excess. So that's kind of how I keep it going. But no, the first thing planted will be my cabbage. Y'all know Mrs. P and I go through cabbage like crazy. Yeah, so that'll be started in January. Redbird Acres, how's my back? It's better. I'm still a little stiff, but I can walk. The funny part was, last night was bowling night. And yes, I went bowling, and yes, I did fine. Now, the funny part is the way I bowl is I changed it 20 some odd years ago when I hurt my back, and I was in a league at the time. And so I wound up having to come up with a complete new style of bowling where I didn't bend my back. And so that's been my style. So I was actually able to bowl. I got home last night. I told Mrs. P, I said, I actually felt better because I kind of stretched my body out a little bit. And so then today I had ordered something a couple of days ago that it's kind of like an arch. You lay on it, it kind of bends your back. So trying to realign my spine. So that helped a little bit too. I'm slowly getting better. I mean, it'll be another week until I'm 100%, but I mean, I'm okay for hauling around boxes of Christmas ornaments and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not going to go lift cabinets again anytime soon or anything heavy, but you know, if it's something that's 20 pounds, 30 pounds, I'm fine. Sherry, Florida Boss Girl, have I ever heard you have to make sauerkraut by the moon phase? No, I've never heard anything like that. And if that's true, then all the sauerkraut I've made in my life, I must have gotten really, really lucky and always made it at the right time of the moon. Yeah, that absolutely sounds like an old wives' tale. Let's see. Texas Rose, have I ever sharpened my own chainsaw? If so, is it hard to do? It's not hard. You just have to know what to do because you can screw it up real well. If you're going to do it by hand, I mean, basically what you're doing is you get a little practically round file, and you're filing each tooth at the prescribed angle. Okay. All these little things where I say, just plug this on the end of on the nose of your chainsaw and start the chainsaw. That's crap. Don't waste your money with those. Okay. If you're doing a file, you can do it. Now you got to do it on one side, then you got to turn it around, then you got to do it the other side in the other direction, the opposite teeth. Because the way a chainsaw works, you have one tooth going this. I can't do this with my hand. You have one tooth going northeast and then one tooth going northwest. Okay, and that's how it'll cut through everything. So you got to be able to do both sides. You can't just do one, otherwise it doesn't work. What works a hell of a lot better, and this is the way I will sharpen my chainsaw, is get a little Dremel tool. You know what these what do they call them? Rotary tools or whatever it is, Dremel tool. You can get one at Harbor Freight, okay? And get the appropriate size bit for your chainsaw. And it's just a matter of push a button, go zzz, zzz, and you got that tooth done. Move on to the next one. You can take what normally takes you half an hour and have it done in about 5 minutes. So it's not difficult, but I would absolutely recommend go watch a video or two on how to sharpen a chainsaw. PK, what is a prep that I have that crosses the line into a collection or obsession? Canned food, maybe? I mean, that'd be about the closest. I mean, I'm not a gun collector, okay? I'm certainly not a solar battery collector or, medical supply collector or whatever. But where I'd say the collection or obsession is, when you're collecting something, you're always like, I really want to get that one. And that's kind of how I am with the food on what I've got stored is I really want to get this, I need more of this. So, I mean, as for, no, I'm not going to prepper collectors shows or something like that. And I know there's guys that collect knives or guys that collect guns or something. I'm looking for practical tools, not a hobby, okay? Prepping to me is not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. Let's see. Fat Daddy's Outdoor Cooking. Where's the hat, man? It's Tuesday. We don't do hats on Tuesday most of the time. Saturday's hat night. Half bubble off plum. Any more news on the FCC vote? That the vote is tomorrow, so won't know anything until after the vote. Let's see. Dennis Ross. What are my thoughts on dried pine needles in the garden? Okay, here's the big one, and you will hear a lot of bad information about pine straw. And that once the pine needles are dried, in other words, brown, not green, okay, they are not going to acidify your soil. If you put green pine needles on your soil, yes, it will slightly acidify your soil. Dried pine needles won't. Dried pine needles are absolutely fine to be in your garden. Till them in, whatever. It's more organic matter. Just let it break down. Kathy K, Pinball, are you guys seeing the moon? It hasn't been here for a while. Stars, but no moon. I saw it a couple of days ago when I was outside letting the dogs out at night. So yeah, I'm still seeing it. It hasn't gone anywhere. No, the World Economic Forum hasn't stole it and sold it. So, Susan Musser, can we send you a Walmart gift card for the amount we want to donate? That doesn't help because I don't do the shopping at Walmart. So, unfortunately, no, that's not going to help me. Red Bimmer, of the food that you eat at home, what percentage of it do I grow? I'd say probably about a third, because with the exception of rice, okay, all our starches we grow. I mean, it's potatoes, sweet potatoes, whatever it would be. All the vegetables that we have that we grow. So, it's our proteins, our meat, beef, chicken, pork, eggs, peanut butter, whatever, oatmeal, that sort of stuff that we don't. So I'd say safely, I'd say probably 30% of what we, this household, we grow. Are there any patches left? Gizmo asks. Yes, I've probably still got about 100 of them. I did go to the post office yesterday and had about a dozen envelopes in there requesting them. So those all went out yesterday afternoon's mail. So if you've recently sent me a request, you'll probably have your patches here in the next couple of days. Fred Derby, what are my thoughts on the Mayorkas impeachment fail? I talked about that in one of the videos today. I think it was the morning video. Again, this just tells us that the swamp is full of swamp creatures, okay? After all the screaming that the Republicans do about, we've got to impeach Mayorkas, we need to build a wall, we have to stop illegal immigration, the guy who's responsible for it all, for all these screw-ups that we have, they decided, we're not going to give you enough votes to impeach him. Okay, don't bitch about something, and then when you have a chance to do something about it, sit on your hands, okay? People need to be paying attention to what their congressmen and what their senators actually do rather than listen to what they promise, because every single one of them promises the world, not a single one of them delivers on it. I mean, there's only a few senators and a few congressmen out there who actually go in with the people's best interest in mind, not their own. But you look at any of this crap that's going on, whether it's funding of Ukraine, funding of Israel, the southern border, crime bills, the Trump crap, whatever, watch what they do, and then that'll tell you how you want to, if you want to reelect them or not. Because when they come up and say, oh, and we want to give you, free phones and pay off your student loans, and they don't do any of it. Watch what they actually do. Not what they say. Actions, not words. That's what I pay attention to. Ashlyn 1217, what am I getting Mrs. P for Christmas this morning? She's watching this. I'm not answering that question. So, yeah, she will get her Christmas presents, but no, I'm not saying what they are. Wouldn't surprise me if that was her going, let me see if I can put a different name in and see if I can figure out what I'm going to get. Okay. Jennifer Combs, have I heard about digital ID? What do I think? I've been talking about digital ID for probably 2 years. Yes, I've heard plenty about it. And no, there's no way in the world. I mean, I've got at least a dozen videos back talking about digital ID. And the easiest way we solve that is We just refuse to get it. And when they come up and go, well, then you can't do this and you can't do that and you can't do this. That's why we're preppers. You look at them and go, I don't care. I've already got all that taken care of. I don't need you. And then they go, oh my God, what are we going to do? Remember? And I tie it right into like what they did with this thing. Okay. We need 60% participation. We need 70. We need 80. We need 90. They got up to about 66. Okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, why isn't anybody else participating? Because the rest of the country was smart. That's it. And you'll see the same thing. They'll roll out digital ID. They'll give you a free bag of fries if you have a chip put in your hand, right? Kind of like de Blasio did in New York. There's going to be enough idiots who go say, yeah, go ahead and do it. And then they're going to be like, why do they know everywhere I'm going? Why can't I buy 2 apples in the store? Because you got that stupid thing in your hand. Okay. Leanne Crochet got 11. Do you do a hot temperature compost, and also do I maintain a worm bin? Yes, I do a hot compost. No, I do not maintain a worm bin. So I've got my compost setup outside is pretty much typical what you do. It's the 3-bay compost pile made out of pallets, and it's just everything goes in bin 1, then everything's moved to bin 2, and everything goes to bin 1, then everything, the usable stuff is all in bin 3. And I just kind of move it along as I turn it. Okay, and you guys know how I do mine. It's I do a hot compost, but I'm not using it. Oh, I need to go get a couple of handfuls. No, I let it compost. Everything that I pulled out of my garden this year is all in bin 1 in the compost right now, and it'll sit in there over the winter. All the weeds and stuff like that I pulled over the summer that are half composted, that's all in bin 2. Come springtime, when I move everything over again, I'll pull all the weeds and other stuff, and that'll go back in bin 1, and bin 3 will be pretty much done at that point. Paladin 1, what video was it which mentioned the cities for terrorist attacks? I don't know. I've done over 2,000 videos. I do not have them all committed to memory. I'm sorry. Fat Daddy's outdoor cooking recipe for the stuffing. I'm almost certain if you go into the playlist of Cooking with Mrs. Pinball, there's one in there for Thanksgiving. And the stuffing in there. I'm almost certain I put it up there. I think it was a couple of years ago. Because at the time, everybody asked me about it. That one. God. Only my neighbor. Mountaintop. How can I get my neighbor to plant my garlic? Oh. I don't even have a good answer to that. Good answer or a joke. Cindy Pez, smartass. Hi, Pinball. Europe is on the verge of digital ID. How much longer do you think we have here before they start pushing it here? Oh, they'll push it. It's just a matter of whether or not anybody's going to take it. And it's just going to be another divisive thing in the country. And then you'll hear all the Robert De Niro's and Sean Penns screaming, anybody that didn't get this needs to be deported or shot or something like that. All the idiot liberals will come up. The government always does what's right. Morons. Yeah. Sorry. I mean, again, this is why you prep. So we don't have to deal with the idiocy that Klaus Schwab or King Charles or Joe Biden or Barack Obama or Olaf Scholz or Justin Trudeau or Emmanuel Macron, we don't have to do any of the stupid stuff they come up with. You're going to do this. No, I'm not. We can do hold me down. Good luck. Better bring a couple of body bags. All right. Farm ranch handed down for generations. That's some old stuffing. I hope it doesn't get moldy. No, it pretty much keeps like fruitcake. James P. Thanksgiving sauerkraut, kraut cutter or shredded in food processor. Neither. Cut by hand with a knife. Oh my! I just cut all mine up, stick it, ferment it, and pull it out. I mean, you want the recipe for how I do sauerkraut? That I know is on the playlist for that was probably a year and a half ago that I did the recipe on Bohemian sauerkraut. Uh, Jojo Urki, what is my opinion on the Pope letting transgenders get baptized and okay to be godparent? This Pope, I'm not Catholic, okay? Nor is this Pope, apparently, okay? Because everything that the Catholic Church, basically the Christian Church, any denomination, stands for, this Pope is against, okay? For some idiotic reason, he believes in gay priests and climate change and all the other stupid stuff that, does not belong, is completely contrary to, I mean, I can't say climate change in the Bible, but yeah, no, sorry. This Pope, when he dies, good. Okay. I mean, we need to go back to another John Paul II. That's when we had the last good Pope. Let's see. PK, this one comes up every year. What's my favorite Christmas movie? Die Hard. And yes, it's a Christmas movie. Thomas Seaman, what are my thoughts on the possibility of a solar storm taking out the internet? It was funny. Mrs. P and I were sitting around. She wanted to watch a movie the other night. If you ever watched the movie 2012, we watched it again. And that's what the premise of the movie is. It's a corny, I mean, some of it could potentially be realistic, and then some of it's just totally stupid. But, the typical genre of Armageddon type movies. But yeah, I mean, a solar storm can cause some serious damage. I mean, you remember the Carrington event, okay? That was a solar storm, and that fried radios and everything. I mean, that was well before the internet, well before what we have now. And anybody that comes up and goes, well, our electricity is so much better than it was 100 and whatever years ago. Really? You taking a look at the grid lately? Okay. I'm surprised it's not held together with chewing gum wrappers. So yeah, I mean, we have a good solar storm, which is predicted. And yeah, it could wipe out more than just the internet. Home of the Brave, greater sin, boxed stuffing or instant mashed potatoes? Depends on when, okay? If you're talking about for the holidays, both. but I mean, I've got both in my preps, box stuffing and instant mashed potatoes. They're preps. Do we eat instant mashed potatoes? Yes, okay. Do we eat boxed stuffing? Not often, but maybe a couple of times a year. It's like, okay, this is something, stovetop or whatever. But no, for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, both of them are an absolute no-no. Real stuff. Thanksgiving, you're supposed to be celebrating the harvest, not celebrating opening a bag. Estate Time 85. Do I like the oysters or the spirits and spices? Yes, all the above. If you like oysters, try that sometime. You'll be like, damn, this is good. Okay, let's see. Russell K, how are the fish doing? They are growing. They're probably about 4 to 5 inches now. And what do we feed them? We have a Purina fish food, where I bought a 20-pound bag of it or whatever it is. And Mrs. P goes out there every couple of days with a 16-ounce cup full of it and spreads it out in the fish and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure some of them have gotten picked up by a hawk or picked up by a raccoon or something like that. But you can go out there and you can still, water's clear enough, what water there is. But you can see them. You can see when the boil comes up. Mamma Mia, do I have a favorite Polish dish or sweet at Christmas time? The pickled herring was always my favorite. It was always my favorite Polish dish. The problem was when I was living up in Chicago when I was a kid, we used to be able to go to Archer Fish Market and get whole herring, okay, with the livers intact, so you could brine them yourself. That's practically impossible to find anymore. And so, now I'm stuck with jarred herring, which is not the same, not by a long shot. So if I had to go with Polish, yeah, I'd go with the pickled herring that we had when I was a kid, but I'll probably never have it again because you can't get the fish. Let's see. Grumpy G, what are the best things to dehydrate? Well, I guess that's probably a matter of opinion. Uh, I mean, around here, the thing we probably dehydrate the most is fish. Yeah. But pepper, vegetables, fruits and vegetables are probably the best things to do, because that way you can still have close to fresh fruit in the wintertime, as opposed to you can still get fresh fish or whatever in the wintertime. But, fruits that if there was, as a prepper, if there's anything I concentrate my dehydrating on, it would be fruits. Brody, what meat from the grocery store do I recommend canning? Any of it. I've done it all. If you can pork after you can it will come up with a little bit more of a smoky flavor. It will certainly change the flavor of it. It's really good though. I can't tell you how much chicken we've canned, how much ground beef we've canned. And then, I use beef in my chili, beef in my stuffed peppers and my galupsi. All sorts of stuff. So there's anything that you can get, you can can. So don't worry about it. You got turkey leftovers? Can it if you want. Okay. Tammy Dexter, went to my bank today to pull out only $1,500. They told me they didn't have enough money. If your bank doesn't have $1,500 in cash, I'd be like, okay, can I please see the manager? I need to close my account immediately. If you don't have $1,500 in cash in the bank, I need to find a new bank. That's insane. No. Redbird Acres, do I think I pinched something with my back? I think I strained it and pinched something in the process. And I've been in traction before for my back. Again, like I said to you guys Saturday night, it's the perils of being almost 7 feet tall. Okay, it's a long way to bend. So, D Freak, how's PBJ? She's doing okay. Like I said the other day, she broke her foot. So she's got one of her interviews for PA school on on Friday. So we'll see how that's going. But right now she's just kind of sitting around doing nothing with her foot up because she can't do much of anything else. So, but the big thing is she's got the interview on Friday. Lee French, do I put oysters in my dressing? No, I do not do an oyster stuffing. Appalachian Woman, how is Mrs. P? She is doing well. She was all giddy today as she was putting ornaments up on the tree and doing all that sort of stuff. So she was having fun doing that. And now it's the time for her when, the UPS guy comes or something. Is that a present for me? Is that a present for me? It's like, get away. So, stuff like that. No, she's doing well. Mary B, how do I find the survey for the Christmas fund? It is on the homepage of the channel. So if you go to right under where it says Free Play Tuesday Night 146, you'll see it says Pinball Preparedness. If you click on that, that will take you to the homepage. If you go look about halfway down on the homepage, you'll see a tab that says Community. If you click on that, you will see the very top one is the survey. Judy Boer, it'd be hard to find me an inversion table. Yeah, that's not going to work. Walter, back just takes time for sure. Yeah, I mean that's I've had it before. I mean, again, like I said, at my height, issues just kind of come with the territory, and so I mean, I get this every once in a while when I just overdo it. Uh, could I have compressed my spine a little bit? Probably. That would be my guess for what I did. Maybe I pinched something. I've never had a sciatic problem, but I have had a disc compression issue in the back in the past. So I'm hoping some of the exercises I'm doing will alleviate the pain, and we go from there. And I'm a lot better this week than I was last week. I will tell you that. Miranda Babcock, have I ever done dehydrating in the oven? I suppose, not on purpose, but yeah, I mean, it's like, yes, but I've got a dehydrator, so. Morning Light, have I thought about going to a chiropractor for my back? A couple of people have told me to go check out a chiropractor, and if if I can't treat it myself and do what the doctors have always told me to do, then I'll go see the doctor or see a chiropractor or whatever. I just know I won't go in for physical therapy because that's a waste of time, at least with my issue, because they put me through PT in the past for my back, and I spent weeks doing PT and nothing helped. So, but the exercises, the stretches and things like that I've had done before, yes, but some of the other silly stuff that they had me do was hurt more than helped. The Cushnet, what pound bowling ball do I use? 16. Mama Bear, hey Twinkle Toes, did Barney go bowling with you this time? No, and I didn't drop the ball on my foot either. Y'all love to pick on me. Amy Myers, our shining star, our guiding light. New Iberia, Louisiana. Keep sparkling, my friend. I'm no guiding light. I'm no shining star. I'm just another guy sitting in East Tennessee. So, but thank you for the compliment at least. Are you prepping? Did I see Tucker's video in Spain regarding the coup there taking place? No, I have not. The last thing I saw with Tucker in it was him walking into the UFC fight with Donald Trump last weekend or whenever that was. Varya could not find the stuffing recipe. Do I have video? Do I have a recipe? It's got to be up there. Let's see. Hang on. Do. Come on, remember where you're going, Ken. What are you trying to do? No, actually, that is what I was trying to do. Hang on. I'm going to go see if I can find this thing real quick. Playlists, cooking. YouTube, will you stop screwing around with this thing? All right, so I just posted in the chat at the bottom. There is a link to the video on the stuffing. Okay. Find back where I was again. Okay, here we go. Star Stylist's Homestead. My generator showed up today. Good. Thank you again. You're blessing us all. Not open yet. Unboxing will be tomorrow. There you go. Have fun. So now you get to read all the directions, figure it out, play with it, and see what you can do with it. Hey 2 Yogi 2 Pinball, get the BioFreeze ice pack that's 12 by 12. They have a 16 by 16 ice pack also. You probably have Horse liniment. Okay, I should read that for a second. Yeah, I mean, between the heating pad and I've got some prescription, it's like a prescription Tylenol cream. That's done pretty good. And then, like I said, just taking it easy. It's a back. It's not going to heal quickly. Trust me, this is a lot less painful than when I broke my tailbone. So that hurts. There's nothing you can do about that. Julie Tallman, what's Mrs. P's favorite holiday? It's got to be Christmas. She's like a kid opening presents. So, yes. Cyber 20s, how tall is PBJ? She's about 5'7". Let's see. Me too. What's my favorite recipe for leftover turkey? Piece of bread, some mayo, some lettuce, some turkey, another piece of bread, maybe a tomato. That's it. Give me the turkey sandwiches. That's it. The day after Thanksgiving, if there's a lot of turkey left over, I'll make another plate like a Thanksgiving dinner. And after that, I just want turkey sandwiches. I'm not going through all the make turkey tetrazzini or something like that. No, just give me a turkey sandwich and I'm happy. And then, of course, you guys know the bones all get boiled down and we make broth out of that, save that, and then all the bones get ground up and go in the garden. Let's see. Aaron Mast, is American chestnut seedling with Chinese chestnut hybrid to keep blight away a good tree? I have no idea. That's an arborist's question. That's not me. Okay, I can't answer. The trees and me. I mean, fruit trees or stuff like that. I got an idea. But when you start talking about, different oaks and maples and chestnuts and elms and stuff like that, I can tell you don't plant under a black walnut, but any of the crosses or something like that, that's not my knowledge, not my wheelhouse. Prep Rebel, am I planning on doing another animal processing video in the future? All depends on what happens in a couple of weeks, hopefully. Let's see. I'm guessing this is Al Preparing. How does one avoid becoming frustration with those who refuse to see what happens in the world? If you come up with an answer to that, please share it with the rest of us, because I think every single person in here has experienced frustration with a friend, a family member, parents, kids, spouse, or whatever, that are running around with blinders on and go, oh, the world's great. It's like the CPI numbers coming out today, and they're like, look, inflation's down to 3.2%. It's a great day. No, still means inflation's 3.2% higher than it was this time last year, when this time last year it was about 8% higher than it was the year before. So no, we've got 11+% inflation over the last 2 years. That is not a good thing, okay? No matter how the government and the Biden administration tries to spin this, it's not good. But people go, look at what a great job Joe's doing. He's got inflation down. Joe's the one that caused the inflation to go up. You can't take credit for fixing a problem that you created. Yeah. Deborah Tussa, what do I think of Johnson averting a government shutdown? I talked about that this morning. That's the biggest cop-out you can imagine. Doing another continuing resolution till the beginning of February isn't averting a government shutdown. It's kicking the can down the road. We've got a Republican House that's still spending on Nancy Pelosi's plan. Figure this one out. They've been there for a year now, and we're still running as though the Democrats are running the House. What's wrong with this picture? Johnson needed to put his foot down and go, this is what we're doing. If you don't like it, we're shutting it down. The end. And everybody goes, then it's a Republican shutdown. Good. Shut it down. I mean, as I said in the video, again, I think this was lunch, Biden touting all these great economic numbers. Yeah, we lost 35,000 manufacturing jobs. We gained 51,000 government jobs. Remind me again, which one produces something? We're producing less and we got more government employees. That works. No. They need to shut it down. That's what has to happen because they keep kicking the can down the road, which all it means is we're going to borrow more money, we're going to print more money, we're going to continue with inflation. He didn't avert a government shutdown. This is when Johnson came up and looked like the second coming of Kevin McCarthy. Oh, tail between your legs much? No, you screwed up. Grow a pair. Somebody said, what about a Visa or MasterCard gift card? Guys, please, the problem with imagine when I go into the store and buy $5,000 worth of groceries, okay? And all of a sudden I've got 50, 60 cards, run this one through for $10, run that one through for $20. Please, okay, I asked the ways I gave you to do it are the ways that we can do it. So that's the best. Please don't try to make my life more complicated than this already is. Von Mousetrap, Mr. P, past time to clean house. Things will ever get better until drastic, or never get better until drastic change happens. Exactly. That's going to the last question. That's exactly what we need. Shut it down. Clean house. Start. Let's see half of Congress not get reelected. Let's see how that works. Okay. And let's let some new people try it, because the ones that are there now, guys, we keep reelecting them and they're the ones that are causing the problem. Where's the logic? Steve Sams, do they count new military personnel as new jobs? No, that does not count. Okay, YouTube is throwing me all over the place, so let me see if I can find where we were again. Zennial Prepper, can we get a cooking with Pinball and Mrs. P for Thanksgiving? That's the video I linked below. That's already been up there, so no need to reinvent the wheel. I do the same thing every year. Dan Rose, what kind of military surplus do I like? Surplus BDUs I like. Surplus ACUs, no. Okay, none of that digital print pattern. You don't want that. The old web gear, that I've got because I like it. It's sturdy, it's strong, it's comfortable, it works. Again, maybe you can find, if you're in the market for a military helmet, go with Kevlar, don't go with the steel pot. You got to figure out your situation, okay? Desert camouflage for me living here, probably not a good idea, okay? BDUs for somebody living in Las Vegas, probably not a good idea, okay? Most of the stuff that you can get that's military surplus is going to be very good equipment. Canteens, a mess kit, stuff like that. Those are things that are worth having. Most of this stuff is going to be pretty good. Just make sure it's actual military surplus and not knockoff crap. All right, I'm scanning around for questions here, and I might have got pretty much everything. BB says, have I ever thought about electric stimulation for my back? No, I haven't. I don't know if again, I know a couple of weeks and I'll be fine. Karen Kelsey, do I have to drive as far for PT as I did for a hearing test? If they want me to, if I'm not going to PT, first off, and if they told me I had to drive 2 hours for it, they wouldn't be seeing me. Okay. Let's see. Kid Carlson, have I ever dehydrated sweet potatoes for the puppies? No, but I've got plenty of sweet potatoes canned, and both of them love it. So uh, we're good. We're good with that. Let's see. Dan Rose, Mr. Pinball, do you think they'll turn the Gaza Strip into a 15-minute city? Personally, I'd rather see them turn it into a parking lot. Either that or the world's greatest mirror. That would work for me too. All right, guys, it is 9 o'clock. That's it. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow. Pinball out.